we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second hour of Misfits. So, let's talk about what happened when we were just looking at you. You were all in Yoon's apartment or her student apartment, whatever. And Mara, you took your leave, leaving Entry and Trespass alone. What happens then? What's up with the two of you in that apartment?
I think Entry sits down on the bed and goes, "No, I guess it's just the two of us then."
Well, yes. She looks a little confused as to whatever he could mean by that.
So, what do you do here when you're not doing homework? It's not like you have room to practice.
No, I don't usually practice here. If I practice, I go to the, park or somewhere similar.
Hey, you should teach me how to fight.
Oh my god, so good.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta be able to defend myself if I'm like in an area with teleportation jammers, right?
Right. I suppose. And you don't know how to fight?
Never thrown a punch in my life.
Then I would have ahead of me to teach you.
I mean, I've hit people with my bat or my gadget, so I've kicked a guy once.
Well, that works, doesn't it?
I hurt my foot.
Yeah, but you don't hurt your bat.
Yes, but I mean, sometimes I don't have my stuff with me. Well, no, that's a lie. I usually have my stuff with me, but if I'm caught and stripped and have to defend myself only in my underwear.
Ah, so we are talking about a strictly hypothetical situation. And you wish to be able to defend yourself from the flying ice cream monster.
I just like being prepared, okay?
Okay.
I mean, I'm certain you know the value of being prepared.
Absolutely. I do. And at that point, she marks. She doesn't actually punch him, but she marks a punch that would quite probably have caved in his left orbital socket if she had carried it through.
Yeah.
Yes, you really are unprepared.
I mean, I tend to be able to stay out of reach.
Yes, that is very good when you can stay out of reach. I, on the other hand, need to be prepared to be attacked at any time. From the distance or from up close.
So,
Right, so you get it.
If I'm hearing this right, you're trying to get Yoon to teach you martial arts.
Yes.
I think Yoon is actually considering that. I mean, it's not like it's a bad idea or anything.
Yeah, you think
But
she would just go along with the idea?
no. She's not that easy. That came out wrong, but you know what I mean.
I mean, there is a subtext here, right? Let's be honest. Like, oh, maybe you could teach me martial arts. The right holds and grips.
No. Just no.
If that's
no.
what he's wanting, he's going to be very disappointed.
I'm hearing a thirsty Entry. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you probably are, but that's what you are not hearing is what she's actually about to do. She's going to turn and look at him and say, "Why do you actually want to learn how to fight?" And she's going to make both her facial expression and her her inflection changes just subtly to don't bullshit me here. And basically what I want to do is pierce the mask.
Dun dun dun!
It sounds like a wonderful idea. All right. Yeah. I'll see you're calling the move. I was about to say it myself. Why don't you give us a roll to pierce someone's mask then?
I shall.
That is plus mundane.
And I actually have influence over.
Yeah, you do.
That's plus 1.
So that's +1. So that's
I like the way you said, yeah, you do.
I mean,
go. And because I have the ability called the wrong side of the tracks. No, that's not the one here.
Well, it's a full hit if you have
Yes.
plus 1.
You get to ask an additional question when you pierce the mask of a villain, even on a miss. When you pierce the mask of a hero, your call, add this question to the list. What was your darkest moment? So basically, I get an extra question.
You get to ask. You get to ask 3, and that ability you just invoked. Did that give you an extra question? You say?
Yeah.
All right. So you have 4 questions.
And because he's a hero, at least nominally, I get to ask that question as well.
Yep. So here's your list of questions, and then remember you have access to the extra. So you have 4.
I have 4 in all. That's really nice.
that's scary.
Yes, it is. This is also something I want her to be really good at. Be prepared.
Basically, you just open a can of worms you're not prepared to open.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
much for
yes,
always
the
being
questions
prepared.
that she wants answers to is, what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? How could I? No, I already have influence. What do you intend to do? And yes, what was your darkest moment?
All right. All right.
Right.
So what are you really planning is like long term.
I see. So it's long term.
Yeah. It's not immediate intent.
Right. In this moment, it depends because there's several levels to it. I think if it's the conscious want and planning, I assume that's what it is.
Yeah.
In that case, he's definitely planning on getting close to you and hopefully making you fall in love with him.
Right.
You want to hook up. Cool. Okay, what was the second question?
The second question was, what do you want me to do?
He wants you to teach him martial arts so you can get close, so you can fall in love with him.
Right. And
Oh,
number
such
So
three.
you
teenager.
want to spend time, in a nutshell.
Yes.
I should probably ask. This is not something he says, is it? Because he wouldn't put it.
No.
like that at all.
This whatever scene takes place for this to be construed is what happens. This
Yes.
can be like as blunt force trauma as like becoming away from like an exchange of looks and mannerisms with something like a preternatural awareness of another person's intent, or it can be like an elongated conversation that like pieces together elements of what's being said to form a full picture. It's the ellipsis at the end of a speech bubble. Right?
Yeah. And but anyway, the next question is of course the final question is.
I
You
think
have
you had
two
4,
more.
didn't you?
Oh, right. I have 2 more. I also have. What do you want? What do you intend to do? Sorry. Bleh.
Well,
Words.
his immediate intention is to persuade you to teach him martial arts. Aside from that, he intends to attempt his best to spend time with you.
All right, let me quickly put a stake in this. So I because I just read Wrong Side of the Track, and your brain did a good thing there, Joan, which was saying I only have 1 more. You get an extra question when you pierce the mask of a villain.
All right, but when I pierce the mask of a hero, I then get to ask that question. As I can ask that question.
Precisely. So
Good.
You can
So
choose to
I've-
disregard what you were just told.
Good. Then I will do that because I really do want him to, open up about what was his darkest moment.
Right. His darkest moment was when he learned that his father had died, the only person who he ever had, who ever truly seemed to understand him and who spoke on his level, the person he adored more than anything and wanted to spend time with, and the only parent he ever had.
The one adult who doesn't suck.
Yes.
At this point, I think she's going to have to do the most awful thing a young woman can do to a young man. She's going to have to give him the whole I really want to be your friend hug, and then she's going to say, I need to do my homework.
Oh man.
You were friend zoned.
People really. You're gonna get a reputation as one of those good girls.
That is not a bad thing from where I'm standing.
Okay, you're gonna get a reputation as one of those dull girls.
A doll?
Generally,
Like,
people like people who have a little spunk, who rebel a little, who seem like they don't care.
Right. But I do.
Yes, but that's not how you get social standing.
I don't see why I should be chasing social standing by being something I'm not. That does not make much sense. That sounds suspiciously like what I was taught back home.
Entry?
I don't want that.
Yes.
Are you trying to provoke her? Do you want her to just stop what she's doing and come out and let her hair down?
Yes, let's try that.
Okay, I'm looking for what you're trying to do.
So what he's trying to do is provoke her into, let her hair down and, let's not do the whole homework thing right now. Let's, I don't know, go to our favorite rooftop and talk or something like that.
All right. You have influence. Do you want to spend it?
I do.
Why do you want to spend it? You get +1 anyway.
So when you take advantage of your influence over someone, you surrender the influence and you can either give them -2 on a roll they just made after the roll. This is the stop doing what you're doing trick. You can also inflict a condition on them, or you can take an additional +1 on a move targeting them after the roll. So basically you can if you make the roll and you're like, oh, it wasn't exactly what I needed, you can surrender your influence by being like, come on, right, I'll angle it.
That sounds so slimy.
Yeah.
It is.
Also, Daniel, the only one I have influence over is Recon.
All right, cool. In that case, that is not relevant here.
So I roll to awoke.
Whoa.
Give us a provocation. Full hit, wonderful.
All right. Can I reject it?
So on a full hit, against the PC, he can't tell you what to do. But he gets to normally pick like carrot or stick. He can say, if you don't come out now, I'll give you a condition for it.
Right.
You'll feel like a party pooper. Or they can say that's the stick, or they can give you the carrot and say, if you do it, we get team to the pool. But because
Definitely
it's 10,
the stick.
because it's 10, you do both.
Oh, cool.
So it's both carrot and stick. If you say yes, you get team and you don't get a condition. If you say no, you don't get team and you mark a condition.
Then I mark a condition and we don't get team.
Okay. So how do you shut this down?
She stands up and looks incredibly guilt-ridden, because this is everything that she's been running away from, thrown right in her face. She looks angry at him at the same time, but most of all, she looks like all her memories are just haunting her and riding her like a mare, and she shakes her head very firmly, just briefly, and says, "No, I must do my homework. Please leave."
Right. I don't know. He says and teleports away.
What condition do you mark? Actually, let me test if he chooses that, or if you do that. Let's see. When you provoke someone. Condition. If you're trying to provoke a PC, you pick that either they must mark a condition if they don't, or they add a team to the pool. Both are true. They must mark a condition. They get to choose which condition they mark. So you choose how you feel about shutting this down.
I feel guilty.
All right, cool. Mark guilty.
Wonderful. This is too much of a reminder of what she had to deal with before.
And you shut the lonely boy down.
Indeed.
Wondrous. All right, so you blink out and Yun returns to her studies. Cool. We cut to Moira. Moira, you're in the town somewhere. You're somewhere in the city, being gawked at by everyone as always. Where are you going?
Home.
Cool. So as you're moving through, you're cutting through the city, trying to get home, and we see, as you're doing that, do you have a caption when we see you move? Is there a soliloquy? Is there an internalization for your character?
None.
Okay, so
just silence and rain.
Cool. Silence and rain. Okay, cool. I'll add the rain.
Very, very emotive.
Yes, indeed. So we have an afternoon shower.
And for some reason, everyone seems so distant in the picture.
Absolutely. You know what? I'll add something. I'll add something to the setup of this scene. Yun, when you sit down to do your homework, we see like in a tab on your computer or whatever on your media of choice. There's some like live news going, talking about the events that happened at the bank a couple of days ago. Like they're just finishing talking about that, and it's the whole like superhero conversation that's always like a hot topic in the news.
Of course. Today in Super News.
Exactly. Like they're finishing off this conversation about like these youngsters. They had like some pictures of you that was snapped by some people's cell phones. And as they're saying this, like we have like a reporter saying, like a person in an interview saying, but as like this situation has gone way out of control. There are more superpowered individuals now than ever. People who choose to take the law into their own hands, whether for good or ill. People who choose to disregard it are growing worryingly even more common. And that is not to say that we've not had our fair share of difficulties, as you are all well aware. And then they start talking about like an event that happened a couple of months ago, where a power plant was attacked by what did I call her? By Cassidy Keel, and a picture shows up showing like a pretty regular like seeming young girl, like she's probably like in her mid-20s or approaching her 30s, and they start talking about like this power plant was attacked by her, and the interviewer says, but surely, like every expert says that Miss Keel has no control over her actions. Well, that's easy to say, but it's harder to prove, isn't it? And they start talking about how she's being moved, like she's changing facilities. She's being moved to like from like an institution of like mental health to an actual prison. And that is the setup for when we cut to Moira, because when we cut in on you, coming towards you in the city picture is a police escort transporting a prisoner, like a prisoner cart, like there's a train of police vehicles, and then it's not a paddy wagon I'm thinking of. It's like an armored transport.
I think it is. Oh right, yeah, okay.
Coming towards you, and it's just in the shot, right? Like we notice as the reader, because we saw the setup in what happened with you, like in Yoon's apartment. We saw the setup. So that's why we noticed, but it's deliberately painted so as to not be like stand out. It doesn't draw attention to itself as you're like walking, and then suddenly, like from around a corner, comes a fucking an oil truck, and just plows directly into the side of the armored vehicle. Just like a collision 10 meters in front of you as you're walking home in your own thoughts, Moira.
Well, that woke her up.
Yes, I was about to say, like, okay, that happened.
There's sirens. There's a big bang. What the fuck?
Yeah, the oil truck like just comes out of nowhere, plows into the side of the armored vehicle. The armored vehicle like flips over, like it gets pushed, then it flips over on its side. The tanker on the truck screeches like out of alignment with the truck itself, and like flips over and starts spilling oil out into the street. The police cars like come to like a screeching stop, and everyone like is all like screams and shocked reactions, phones out or pulling away from the scene. What is your reaction?
Shocked for 5 seconds or so, because what the fuck? That was just in front of me. I could have been hit, and then probably wouldn't matter. I probably wouldn't die from that, and then I should probably get them out.
So you're like moving towards the you're moving towards the like spilled over tanker and towards the armored truck. And as you do so, what's the like, it's not a cockpit. It's not called a cockpit. What's the word for the place where a truck driver sits?
The driving seat?
Yeah, sure. There's an actual word for this that I don't know.
Probably is, but I'm not a car nut. I don't know it.
So the door opens and a person climbs out, and your brain immediately goes to a certain place, because this is not like a guy wearing a plaid shirt and a trucker cap. This person is dressed like an operative. He's dressed like bad news. He's wearing like a villain henchman getup of like dark nuanced armor plating over like a kind of a bulletproof vest getup.
So that would mean, are you alright? You seem fine.
Exactly. But he climbs out of the wheelhouse of the truck, and jumps up onto the hood, and then he reaches for like an earpiece, speaks, and then we see like you notice that on his neck he has a metal collar similar to what Entry took off of the people who robbed the bank the other day. And as he like finishes speaking into the earpiece, he like clutches at his neck and like gives like a moan, like "oh!" in pain, as we see like this like liquid in a little canister on the side of it starts seeping into him. And suddenly he like rips out, and he grows and tears free, and his like face changes, and he grows into like this kind of like rhinoceros looking bipedal thing. He jumps onto the armored truck and starts pulling layers of metal off it with his bare hands. What do you do?
First up, and I thought I had it bad. You're ugly. And then the realization again, oh fuck, I should stop him. Don't marvel at it, just stop him.
Alright, what do you do?
I will rip him off and, stuff him somewhere else.
Alright, so you like slither over there and like wrap your tail around him and lift him off of the truck?
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty heavy, but you're also very strong. So he doesn't see you coming or anything? Because as currently as a rhino person, he doesn't actually have that good of a peripheral vision.
No, it's not like, hey, bad boy.
And he looks down, like, huh? And he makes a movement as if
and then she flings him.
just throw him. He just careens sideways. Where do you throw him?
What?
Where do you throw him?
Not to throw him into the police, but in front of them. Like, here, take him. And then she's gonna, continue opening the thing to get the people out before they blow up.
Cool. So you throw him, and he skids in the direction of the police. You reach into the armored truck, and there's no one inside. There's no people, but there is this like human-sized cylindrical plexiglass tank.
No one in the driver's seat either?
There's definitely a person in the driver's seat.
Alright. Well, she takes the cylinder out, and then goes to the driver's seat with a, don't know what that was about, but...
When you take the cylinder out, the glass of it is like cold to the touch, like covered in rime. And when you touch it, your hands like slip across it, and you see inside is the face of a woman. Like hovers just in the water, and the water is full of bubbles.
No one I recognize, I guess.
Maybe. How close do you follow superhero news?
Pretty close.
Yeah. Would you recognize like a figure who was recently involved in a conflict?
That depends on the conflict.
An attack on
If
a
it
power
was-
plant?
Yeah.
This is Cassidy Keel. She's a supervillain. She's currently on ice, if you pardon the pun. She's unconscious in the tank.
Oh. Huh, she should probably stay in that. She tries to get the attention of the drivers.
The driver is out cold, and I think
Damn it!
we see the oil slick that's like spilling out like along the street, like touch a left cigarette butt that's just been like thrown on the pavement, and a flame starts spreading. What do you do?
Crap. Okay, she's getting out of the ice because we need the entire cylinder out. She just rips it out of the car and then gets the drivers out.
So there's like a moment of where it doesn't like give way. It's a part of like a setup inside the vehicle that makes it so that she can be in a tank full of water and not drown. And as you like pull it, like start yanking it free, you find that like a bunch of cables and weird things are like attached to it inside the truck. And I'm gonna have to ask you to unleash your powers to get this thing like torn free in time.
Let's see if I can find it. Well, I have a good chance for it.
Yeah, you do. You're pretty good at it. Yeah, look at
Ooh,
that.
wow.
Yay!
Yes.
Whoop. So you give it like a firm yank, and without compromising the integrity of the glass canister, you tear it out of the vehicle. Now you have this like glass canister that's pretty damn large, like wrapped in you, like it's wrapped in your person, so to speak. You're wrapped around it. And the flames are still spreading and picking up speed swiftly.
Yeah, get the drivers out and then leave the area immediately.
Cool. So you go for the drivers when you notice behind you, from out the truck jumps another person in a similar getup, touching an earpiece and then also like clutching onto their neck. And where the other person became a rhino person, this person becomes a boar person.
Oh no!
Of course.
Oh no! Oh, that is so awful.
He
Oh,
just
good
looks
grief.
at him with a, oh, not another one, and oh my god, I feel so sorry for you, and alright, the drivers.
Yeah. So as you take your eyes
Are we
off,
gonna get 4 turtles next?
I'm not
Alright.
I'm not making any promises. But thank you for catching it. So
Now
you,
we just need a
Why
rat
do you think
person.
she was groaning?
yeah, I know. I was appreciating the pain I could inflict.
Eastman and Laird must be rolling in their graves,
saw-
except they aren't dead.
I so want to see a rat running up with one that makes him more human becomes Mr. Splinter.
So you notice this guy like hulk out and become like a boar person, and as he does, he just like starts gunning it towards you. You have a moment here of like, you can try and intercept him, or you can get the prisoners. What do? Let the prisoners, Derp, get
Prisoners?
the driver, the people who are trapped in the van, in the steering house.
Prisoners of
So I
circumstance.
take a huge ass blow from it, but I get them out.
That's the risk. You don't know how strong he is, but like the other guy was ripping open an armored van.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
All right, roll a savior to get these guys out of here.
Nice.
That's a defend. Roll to defend.
Very nice. That's still a hit.
Yeah, you do. All right, cool. So let's see.
Coiling the tail up against the cylinder so it doesn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm. So on a 7 to 9, it costs you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
Yeah, she exposes herself to so much danger by doing this.
All right. So you rip open you probably tear off the door of the truck and like just reach in and grab the driver and the guy in the other seat, like just pull them out and throw them away, like so they're not like caught in the flame and the oil, and doing that you save both of them, and then this guy just like body tackles you and like throws you sideways. This becomes there's a wide panel of you being ostensibly like tackled from one side of the panel to the other.
That was a good way of getting out of the fire.
Yeah.
Good, it was.
So he like drives into you. Take a powerful blow.
Oh crap, and I have 2 conditions.
You can do it.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you did it.
Nice, very nice, very nice. You stand strong.
You bastard!
So you like he like throws you sideways. You impact the ground. It hurts. Don't get me wrong, but you're tough, and you manage to catch yourself like perfectly. So
Mark
you're like
potential.
quickly back on your feet. Mark potential.
Dude.
Yay.
Wah, wah, wah. Basically, it's because the tail took the brunt of the force, so she only got a couple of scrapes. It hurt like hell when she landed, but the tail is really strong.
Yeah. And you managed to do it, like, the impressive part is you managed to do it while still keeping a hold of this tank. It gets jostled a bit, like, it scrapes against the asphalt, but it's fine. You've maintained it, there's no problem. Over the shoulder of this guy, who's, like, now standing in front of you, raising his arms and flexing his suddenly very huge pectoral muscles and being very threatening, you see the rhino person lifting a police car overhead and hurling it, and policemen, like, jumping for dear life. Opening fire on him, and just like the bullets like grazing off of his thick hide. What do? This
Right. Well, apparently we need to shift gears. They need to be the protectors and I need to be the attacker. Because they're kind of useless. So I think I actually have the thing I need to do that. Give me a second.
Imagine one of the policemen being like, "Get down on the ground!" and the guy like just lifts up his car and just like tries to slam it down on him.
So, I want to use Unstoppable.
Ooh, awesome.
She basically wants to barrel her way through the boar and the rhino and leave the people at the policeman. So she's between the policeman and the beasts.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that. That is a good use of your moves. I'm gonna make that 2 moves. Your first move here is to overcome the fact that this guy is like body blocking you and ostensibly getting through the wreckage of the car crash.
Yeah.
To get at the
Basically,
cops, and then I'm gonna
Unstoppable
make you defend.
is when you smash your way through scenery to get to or away from something, roll plus danger. On a hit, the world breaks before you. And you get what you want.
Excellent. So that's a thing. That's totally appropriate. So you just he tackles you, and you like wind up and tackle back. I dig it. Give us the roll.
Wah, wah, wah.
Go, Mara!
It's not doing what I want it to.
Oh no. Ooh, very nice.
It's a hit.
Yay! Too bad I can't spend team for selfishly.
That's true. You don't really have
Well,
to line up.
on
here
a
to do
hit,
this.
the world breaks before you, and you get what you want. On a 7 to 9, choose 1. Mark a condition, leave something behind, or take something with you. I'm gonna mark a condition, and because I mark a condition, I'm gonna use coming for you. When you mark a condition, take +1 for it against the person you most blame for causing it.
Okay, who do you most
Nice.
blame for causing this?
I will blame the owl cat. Not that one. I'll blame the rhino because he tried to, throw a car at me.
I know you just said Owl Cat. I heard Owl Cat, and I'm adding Owl Cat to my list of villains.
Yes!
Yes!
So, sorry, which one again?
Rhino.
The rhino for throwing a police car at me.
Okay, you blame him, so you take +1 against him. Cool. So, you like knock this guy aside.
Because for a second there, she thought the 2 people she was holding in her arms were gonna die because he threw a fucking car at her.
It makes sense that you would be very nervous about this situation. Being in a 2-on-1 fight here is bad news. This tanker is about to explode if no one does something about it, and you're holding a trapped supervillain.
I'm holding a trapped supervillain in a glass cylinder and 2 out cold people. My tail is occupied, my arms are occupied, get the fuck away from me.
Alright.
On the upside, if Yun looks at the TV, she'll probably see this live.
Yeah, that's probably a thing. I'm gonna do a couple of rolls here. Like we'll resolve what you're doing, and then we'll see what happens with entry, and then we'll see what's up with Yun, and then we'll come back to you. So you do it. You successfully did it. So as this guy like tackles you, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm big and strong. I'm gonna come for you," and like you should have stayed out of this, little girl. And then you're just like, get out of the way, just like knock him aside, like flies into the foreground of the shot as you're like plowing your way through everything in your path.
Oh, she's been a cheerleader, so she does what they do when they protect the ball, and then just barrel through all the other football players.
Nice.
That's wonderful. Also,
Because it's the one game she's seen so much.
that's wonderful. Also, if I ever become a player in this game, I'm making Kim Possible as a character.
Ha, nice.
Mommy, baby,
I'm guessing she would be a beacon.
Yeah, probably.
totally a beacon.
Okay, so you carve your way through, and you end up like basically you get through both the opposition and the landscape, such that you can now interfere with the rhino, who's definitely not called the rhino. Marvel, chill out.
It's a rhino, not the rhino.
Yes.
Arino.
And yeah, so you
Actually, his name is Bob, but we don't know that yet.
So you get over there as he's like, we get a panel of like a bird's eye shot of a police officer like sitting on his ass. His gun is like on the ground next to him. He's looking up, panicked, and there's like a thick black shadow over him. And we see like this like rhino human raise his car overhead and about to like bring it down on the policeman. What do you do as you like arrive from behind the rhino, who I'm going to come up with a name for right now, just to not keep calling it the rhino?
She is gonna put the cylinder down gently and do a golf club kick with it on him.
Alright, so you put the cylinder down, and then you do a golf club kick.
Basically, all tails slap him the hell away.
Alright,
With the car, everything. Like, go.
alright.
Leave.
Give us a defense roll. Roll to defend this guy.
I don't have anything in defense, goddammit.
I mean, unless you are arguing that's not what you're doing, right? If you're not defending
She's
the cop,
most likely directly engaging him.
that's fine. You can do that. The important differentiation here is if you defend, you will save the policeman. If you don't defend, you will not. But you
Yeah,
can,
okay, I'm saving the policeman. I need my savior up. Oh, fucking god, man.
I mean, unless you
Hey,
can...
I have a +1 against him because fuck him.
Yeah, you just took a +1
Nice.
forward.
Yeah, you did.
Take that, asshole.
Oh,
Is that with or without the +1? Does it matter as much on this? I can
Doesn't
make it
matter.
it's with the +1, but you can spend team selfishly to get it up to 6.
I can't.
Why not?
There's not a
And
whole
6
lot
is
of...
not a hit. 7 to 9 is a hit.
Yeah, there's not a whole
All right.
lot...
No, that's
use
right.
here.
6 is not enough.
So,
Damn
okay. So,
Well, that's another potential.
you place it down, like,
And,
yes,
and
mark
the
potential.
squished policeman.
You mark potential. And the rhino is like... The not rock steady is bringing down the car, and as he does so, you like slap him, and he like falls sideways. The car is like spins through the air. It lands heavily, breaking apart, and the policeman comes to harm, but doesn't die. He comes to harm, however.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like we get a not graphic at all, but like a silhouette shot of like a piece of pipe from underneath the car or something, like jammed into the guy's thigh.
I think the second she realizes that the car is just spinning and not actually flying with the rhino, she covers her entire face with the people in her arm with a, oh fuck, and then slowly looks out with a, still alive.
However, the true problem here, what I'm gonna do to you here, is that you, after all, you do manage to save the policeman, and you do manage to knock aside this person, this enemy of yours. However, as the car goes spinning, it does so with quite a tremendous bit of force, being half thrown by him and half propelled by the force you're exerting on him. And so it comes apart as it lands in like quite a many different car-shaped pieces. One of which is just the hood of the car, like spins through the air, just tearing towards you, and you manage to just not get hit by it. And for a second you're like, whew, that was close. And then you hear the sound of the glass container shattering.
Ooh.
That's not good.
Exactly.
He slowly looks over the shoulder with a, oh fuck.
And you looking over your shoulder is exactly the shot I'll use to cut to entry. We won't see what you're looking at. We just see you like turn your head and look over the shoulder at the like out the panel. And entry. Where are you at after you poured it out?
Probably half walking, half porting elsewhere, just aimlessly portering, wandering.
Wonderful. So perfectly lined up to get injected here whenever.
Yes, and I mean, if you want to make it faster than normal, I would not put it past him to have like a trouble is brewing alarm on his hollow computer mesh suit. They will go, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
You're monitoring Twitter for like you're monitoring not Twitter for like superhero sightings or something. There's probably like a good
It's
deal
not
of it.
Twitter, it's Chirper.
Ah, yes, Trevor.
Also, like the culture here would definitely have something like superhero and supervillain sighting alerts.
Yes, I probably tapped into one of those.
Yeah. Plus, Halcyon itself is, through the last 4 generations, have grown like equipped to respond to these things. Not by actually dealing with them, because that's what heroes are for, and they can't. But like getting people like away, alarms, like the traffic grid changes direction and so on, like to try like to keep traffic away. These are like things that happens generally speaking. Like these are things that you live with. That you can suddenly like see a part of the grid turn off. You know that, oh fuck, like something is going on in that direction and we should keep out of it.
Yes.
So that's what you're doing. Yun, you definitely like as the news are just like going. There's like we have a hot report going. Like we're cutting now to a reporter live in a news chopper, and you get like a bird's eye view of the conflict that I've just described on your TV.
Yeah. How far away from that am I?
Inconveniently far, but narratively just right.
Okay, good, because then what she's going to do is she's going to, stand up, and as she does so, she's going to hit enter on her computer. Basically, that sends her homework to her teachers, for the school intraweb or whatever, so that sending it for marking.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going
Really
to
have
grab.
money enough for that.
I think it's a state system more than anything. But yeah, she gets up and grabs her what is it called? She gets into costume basically, really swiftly. And
I need to ask you something about that.
Yeah, sure.
It's just like a tiny piece of detail I want to throw at you. Oh, I want you to throw at me. You getting into costume.
Yeah.
What is the tenor of that scene? Is this a like literally getting open my closet and putting on the ninja costume, or is this like a Spider-Man and his amazing friends shot of you like using a hidden switch in the head of a statue and like a panel slides open on the wall?
Definitely the latter.
No.
Definitely
Even better.
the latter.
It's a magical girl transformation a la Sailor Moon.
Oh no, it's really not. It's definitely not. It's
what is the hidden switch? What is
the hidden switch is that she opens the her closet, and instead of taking the clothes that are actually hanging there, she reaches all the way behind it and then pushes the screws in the back of the there are 4 screws in the back of the closet, and she pushes them in a sequence of 5. Or 4 screws, so she pushes them in a sequence of 5, so each of them gets pushed once in the right order, and then the first one gets pushed one more time.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the what is it called? The back of the closet slides aside, and behind that is her actual. There's or it's not. It's actually the entire closet that slides aside and lets her have access to her costume on a mannequin basically, and her most commonly used weapons.
Wonderful.
Apart from the hook swords, which basically normally she conceals as her blind person stick. Her
cane.
stick. Her cane. Thank you very much. I just could not remember the word, which is really weird.
We're good at wording.
Yes, we can't do the wording today. The words are not wording.
Brain.
Words.
Right.
Anyway,
We're brainless, so.
Yes, we are brainless. In fact, no, I am. And because of the situation being what it is, she is actually not bringing the hook swords this time, because normally those are the ones that she's bringing.
Okay.
But this time she's going to. It looks like whatever is down there is something that hits pretty damned hard. So she's going to need something with a lot of of striking power right back at it, so to say. So she is bringing. I cannot, for the life of me, remember what the hell it is these things are called, but they're like nunchaku with 3. It's a link of 3.
Yeah, is it a Shangham?
Yeah. Thank you. I believe that is the one. I'm just looking it up.
No, I might be wrong about
No,
that.
that's actually no. Those are that is a chain with a knife in both ends, basically. Let me see. 3 links. Sure. 3.
Of course, Wikipedia refers to it as a 3-section staff.
Yeah, of course it does. But that is
Sansetsukon.
Yes, that is the one that she will be bringing, and because she has enough training in this, she is actually going to be bringing 2.
Wonderful.
One for each.
All right, cool.
Impressive.
I love it. So you're moving in that direction. You're heading downtown.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh, right, and she's also swapping. She normally wears a pair of jute in her hair, like hairpins.
Mm.
She swaps those for actual sai.
Cool. So,
But yes, other than that, yeah.
the last we cut from you on like a panel of you like stepping foot out your window or something in like your superhero getup, and it's all like really well shaded and looks dramatic as you're like going to do the hero thing.
Yes.
So we cut back to downtown. Moira, you're turning to look at what's happening. The hood of the car, the police car, has spun through the air like a frisbee and cut into the side of this tank. This is now spilling open with this bluish, watery liquid. And inside, like falling out through the cracked glass, is the form of a woman. She's rather skinny. She's wearing a like it's not a swimsuit, but it's like a high neck. Ostensibly, it's like the same kind of like same as a swimsuit, but it's like short sleeve, like essentially short leggings and then high neck.
So it's like a short wetsuit,
short wetsuit,
a hot water wetsuit.
That's a good one. Yeah, let's call it that. She's blonde. She's like the neck length hair, and as she's like spilling out of the tank and onto the ground, she seems to wake up from the state she was in, which she was unconscious in the tank. Now she's waking up and like blinking her eyes like sleepily as she does so.
Crap.
The boar person is coming towards
That
you.
is also it is a speech bubble, a very small one, coming from Moira with crap.
You know what? That's a good. Yeah, so you give that utterance of crap. We see that the boar pick himself out of like a store that he's been like thrown into, like dust glass off of his shoulders and like grab an injured arm and then like come towards you. The rhino is also like picking itself up and dusting itself off. And the lady Cassidy is like starting to shakily gain her footing. What do? The police, I should say, like the police have like a reaction of first like standing in like quiet dread, like and then one of them is like, "Oh God, she's waking up! Call for backup! Alert headquarters!" And
Yeah, she's not gonna deny that might be a good idea.
yeah, so they, like,
She has a rhino and a boar to fight with, and they'll probably a handful in themselves. Alright.
Yeah.
She puts the people down because she no longer wants to carry them. She has a boar and a rhino that she needs to take care of. And then she gets in there ready with a crap, let's do this.
Alright. So as you say, alright, like let's do this. Not rock steady. Like
Why do I keep saying that?
because I don't know what to call this. Like this is not like an actual supervillain. This is a goon on a serum.
And he's just Rhino Man.
Yeah, sure.
Rhino Man.
Rhino Man. Oh my God, it's so camp. Okay, Rhino Man. It's like beating hams with his fist. Like, yeah, it's clobbering time. And like comes like gunning towards you. And lowers his horn to charge you. What do?
Turn around myself and give him a tail slap.
Alright. I think you're directly engaging.
Totally. Because, yeah, let's do this. I can play tennis with you all day if I need to. Damn it!
Ooh, that's a close one. Okay, so
You want to spend selfishly on that one, because that will take you up to 7.
I
But
could
I don't
also
know
appear on
how.
stage.
Yeah, that's true. That might also be a good time for entry
I
to
have a
enter.
better idea.
Go on.
Because I miss, he hits me, right?
Yeah. If so, here's how this goes down. When you miss, I make a move. I can do
Yes.
whatever I want now. I could say you valiantly defeat him, and as you look up, a meteor is headed towards Earth.
Of course. Because I have an idea. With that miss, I get my next potential, which means she mutates further.
Ooh.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh.
So you get an advancement, you say?
That is cool.
All right, let's talk about that quickly.
Yes.
So you get an advancement, and you picked an advancement that is you mutate further.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Reveal another 2 new abilities chosen from any playbook. What are your new abilities?
Give me a second, I have to look it up. I think the reason she misses is because scale suddenly starts spreading over her hands, and she's suddenly in a world of pain.
All right, so we need to like I'm gonna like figure a way to like something like appropriately superheroic happens here, like some bullshit occurs that makes you mutate further. But we need to figure out like exactly what it is. I have an idea for why this happens. So, what's your mutation?
I knew it for a second ago. Give me a second. Basically, she mutates further and gains sorcery from the Nova.
Interesting.
Oh.
What part of like the what part of mutating, so to speak, grants you sorcerer's powers? Is there like an obvious way we can see it?
It's basically her technopathy have always been magic. It was just the first way she used it, so she never questioned it.
Oh.
Sorcery has always been a part of her, but she only used it on making technology do as she wished. She still has technopathy because she really trained that part of it. But now she gets actual sorcerer's powers.
Rad. So do you actually like? Is there a physical manifestation of this mutation? Like, do
Yeah.
you grow like cool horns or something?
The thing is, the scale starts spreading over her hands,
Okay.
and a pair of horns grow out on her head.
Oh,
Cool.
I think
so
the
And that
drawing
is
may
what
need a
starts
slight
my
amending.
health.
you.
What?
I just
Jones
said to
the
Rasmus,
drawing.
yeah, I think that the drawing might need to be amended slightly, but that's all.
They're not huge. They're small, but they give her a bawling headache.
I would imagine suddenly growing horns sounds like it would give you a headache.
Also, blood down her face, but that's a minor detail of it.
In my mind, I was hoping like, I acknowledge like not big horns is fine. I'm not telling you do it differently, but for a second I was like imagining like like giant swinging bull horns. And for a second you looked like I imagined your character as a wall carving in like an old Byzantine temple.
I was actually more thinking like Central American, the whole horned serpent thing.
Oh yeah, that would also be really cool. But yeah,
I don't actually know what they look like. And from the Janus, she gets impossible mobility.
Oh,
Cool.
So, what does impossible mobility mean for you? Does your spine readjust to become?
Basically, the part of her that weren't, that's actually a snake, becomes more malleable, like a snake would be. So she gets the exact same reflexes as a snake would have.
Okay, impossible mobility, great. So you become so it's deliberately vague what it is, right? And so you can have fun with it.
It looks like her tail grows a little and looks a little more slender.
Wonderful. So
with tiny little spines going down the entire length of her back.
All right. Ah, that's so great. I have a hella ideas like in my head for what you look like. I look forward to seing the artwork that are gonna be done about this. So this happens. So you roll as the guy comes charging towards you, and you swing your tail and you hit him, and he like careens sideways and bowls into a car, and then like from behind you like lands onto you and like grips on and like puts you in a half Nelson. The boar person, boar man, comes and like grabs you, and as you're like wrestling with him, like trying to pull free, and he's like trying to pull you in. There's that moment that sometimes happen when you're like wrestling people you like, where you knock your heads together on accident.
Yeah.
That happens here, and you feel like a sting as the remainder of the vial on his on his collar like shatters upon you, and this like mutating animal substance like drips onto you. Suddenly, like a pang of pain rushes through you, and as you're like losing control of yourself and can't really fight back, the rhino man picks himself up and charges towards you, knocking into you and like bowling you sideways like into an electrical pole. There's a discharge, and you get not insignificantly hurt by this. I should add, like this hurts.
Obviously.
You have scrapes. You need to mark a condition. But as you like pull yourself as the dust clears, you're different.
When she finally falls down from the electrified pole, you mean?
Yeah. Well, when you manage to get it off you, I guess. Oh, yeah. Maybe when
I imagine the reason it falls off is because when you get hit by electricity, all your muscles starts convulsing.
Yeah.
She's nothing but.
Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, she's gonna.
So I imagine that she
painful.
Basically rips it up and it gets crushed completely.
Yeah, seems right. So you're getting thrown into this like bad spot with these two nerds. At the very same moment, you flash in on the scene entry.
Okay.
Just in time to see the fireworks.
Pew!
And these short shots of the entire area.
What does your entrance here look like? And I don't mean like, is there fireworks or is there a banner? I mean, do you pop out in the middle of the fight being like, fear not motherfuckers, entry is here? Or do we see you like pop into view somewhere out of sight, taking careful measure of the situation? Or do you pop in on top of the rhino man and just delivers a blow out of nowhere? What's your entrance like? Is this what does the entrance say about you?
That depends a whole lot about how much my villain alert has told me about what's happening.
Your villain alert.
Like if it's mentioned that this woman has awoken or
prisoner.
That just happened now.
Your alert is telling you that prisoner transport carrying Cassidy Keel has come under attack.
And does it say anything, or do I know anything about her?
Yeah, Cassidy Keel is a supervillain. She's also known as Putridity Cassidy.
That's not easy to say.
Yeah.
No, I think that's probably one of the reasons why she's in such a foul mood all the time.
Yeah, Putridity Cassidy is a supervillain. It is argued that she's not strictly speaking villainous, because some people say that she doesn't have any control over her actions. When she is not in a chemically induced sleep, she mutates into an all-consuming goop monster.
Yeah, in that case probably a balcony or something. He pops up into existence near or on, so he can get a good overview.
So as you pop into existence, you survey the area in front of you, and there's this like black column of smoke from oil that is slowly like catching on fire, and a sheet of flame moving towards an oil truck.
Oh crap!
There's a bunch of like crashed cars in the immediate vicinity of it, and people are pulling away There are some police people embroiled in what seems to be like an attempt to rescue fellow officers and pull them away from the soon-to-be explosion. And also very nearby the soon-to-be explosion is Moira twitching, wrapped in electrical cabling, while two man animals like stumbling.
Animals, ooh.
Exactly, are like kicking her while she's down.
Beasties.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Wouldn't they actually get electrified by that?
Not if they're not standing on the cables, which they're not.
But they are kicking someone who is being electrified.
That's actually a good point.
Fred,
And they cannot have shoes on because they just became twice the normal size of a rhino and the boar.
What you're just saying is something that would be like on a message board about this comic book series.
Yes.
Like, how could this possibly happen? The answer is it did.
Well, it's not so much a question anymore because priority 1 is save ally, which means that Entry will teleport down and grab the cables because his hollow mesh suit functions as a Faraday cage.
Excellent. All right.
Oh, cool.
And then you can guess what he does with them.
Yep. All right. Give us a defender. A defense roll.
Yeah.
He's playing. He's basically he's wearing a Faraday cage, and the what he's just doing makes him turn into what's literally a moving Tesla coil. Which means that if you start playing the Imperial March right now, I'm gonna love you forever.
In that case, he probably shocks them in tune to the Imperial March.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. And dear listening audience, please go to YouTube and look up Tesla Coil Imperial March and love it forever because it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's incredible.
I think when he pops up, he pops up and goes, "Oh, don't look so shocked," and then probably misses horribly.
Oh, do you actually have that whole punster thing going?
Obviously.
You do miss horribly.
So you jump down there, you grab the cables, and you yank them off of Moira successfully, putting her in a position where she's not being constantly shocked and can now like slowly regain control of her faculties and get back up. And then you like grabbing the high voltage cables, you suddenly appear, and these two assailants are like not equipped to deal with you just popping in. So there's like, what's going on? Who is this person? And then you plant like a fist solidly in the chest of each of them, holding these cables. There's a flash of electricity, and they both fall back, landing in the like wider oil spill. And as they do so, the oil like splooshes sideways, spilling onto Cassidy, who like shakes her head for a moment, like runs a hand over her face and looks down and says, "Oh no, I'm awake." And as she says that, she suddenly like unfolds, and like in the panel following her saying that, we have this like from behind you and Moira perspective of suddenly like a 3-story tall like monster like emerging from the form of a tiny woman, just like
Wrong leg!
expanding outwards. I guess she would actually not be that huge to begin with, but she would like grow up to the size of like 2 grown men.
She would become the Blob. Not as in the Marvel supervillain the Blob, but as in the classic monster movie Blob.
Yeah, but with like there is a humanoid shape to she like think Clayface from Batman, right? Like
right,
humanoid,
yes, okay.
but definitely
Yes.
goop thing. And that image is what we'll end on here. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back, and we'll look into what happens then.
Yep.